Ladies and gentlemen, I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be playing the SU-152, a very famous tank back in the day. Nowadays, people still play it, but they don't play it as much. You don't see it around as often as you used to. And people used to play it because, you know, there wasn't such thing as a tank called the Smasher back then. So when it comes to sort of tier 7 derp guns, this was the only one. The same as tier 6, you know, the KV2. It was the only one. But ever since the arrival of the Smasher, there's no point playing this, in my opinion. I might as well go play a Smasher. Of course, you can play the SU-152 many different ways. You've got a few different guns, one with really good DPM, and of course one with less DPM, bigger gun, and then you have this one with less DPM, but it has more alpha, and it's the only way, it's really the only way to play the tank. Even though it's probably the worst gun that you can actually get on the tank, it is still the only way. So as you can see, the gun is a tier 6, tier 7, and tier 8. The tier 8 one has very good DPM, 3,100 DPM, but the alpha is only 400. Then of course you have the tier 7, which a little bit less DPM, well, yeah, a little bit less DPM, and the alphas are the same. And then of course you've got this tank right here, but the alpha is just massive. So this is, again, this, even though it's only a tier 6 gun, it is the only way you should be playing the SU-152. Of course, it is the 152mm. Aim time is nothing special at 4.5, the same as the gun dispersion at 0.453. Actually, both really bad. DPM 2688, again, not as good as the other guns, but, you know, it's not too bad, especially if you can get some HE shots. We are running calibrated shells to get that higher HE, because this gun is all about that HE. Reload time is 14.29 seconds, so yeah, quite a long reload. Penetration 142 on your AP, nothing special at all. However, your heat pen is actually really good at 275, and your HE is 95. So yeah, you come up against these juicy targets, you come up against these tier 6 tanks, then you should just about be able to HE them and get that higher alpha, because yeah, HE 960 damage is very juicy, and you can pretty much take out a tier 6 with that, and it's fun. It really is fun. So 640 AP pen, 545 on your heat. So even if you are firing just heat, then you're still getting a decent amount of damage, and very good pen to go with that. You do only have 6 degrees of gun depression. So yeah, it's an average tank now. It really is an average tank that people are still going to play it. People, of course, they will still play it. They're always going to play it, because it's still the SU-152, and the tanks that lead on from it, you know, you've got the ISU-152, very good tank. I love the fact that it looks very good as well. Ever since it's got this, especially this camouflage, I think it does look fantastic. To be honest, most of your shots will probably be the heat. Of course, you want to get as much HE shots as you possibly can, but yeah, most of your shots will probably be the heat, because you've got good pen, like you've got fantastic penetration, and you're going to do more damage. If you just use HE and get some splash damage, you're not going to get as much damage. So as long as you can, if you can penetrate, just like this SU-130 PM here, I know he's a juicy target. So of course, I want to go for him, because I've got a HE round loaded. Here he is. Sadly, he does look at me, but I do manage to get the shot into him and do over 1,000 damage. And that brings a tier 8 tank now down to a 1-shot. So yeah, when you can do that kind of damage against a tier 8, is very satisfying. It really is satisfying. But again, I look at it and think, you know what is the point? Like, what's the point even playing the SU-152? Yes, it can do this kind of damage, I get that, but so can the Smasher. You know, the Smasher's got very good heat pen as well. It's got a turret, so it's a lot easier to get your shots off. And overall, it is just a much better tank than the SU-152, which is a shame because, as I said, this tank is a legend. You know, those of you that have been around from the very beginning, or pretty much the very beginning, it is a legendary tank, and I hate to see these legendary tanks just, you know, not as popular as they once was. And that's the same as the KV2. You know, the KV2, everybody wanted to play the KV2. Wargaming, you know, they not removed it, but they changed things around, and it just was shit. Again, another nice shot there, just over 1,000 damage. So the KV2, in the tech tree, it was sort of a part of an add-on, you know. You didn't have to grind the KV2 if you didn't want to. Then Wargaming decided to remove a few tanks, and then you have to grind the KV2. But I don't want to play the KV2 anymore. I've got the Smasher. You know, there's no reason for me to play the KV2, and I hate that. And that is exactly the same thing for the SU-152. Now, already we've had 3 shots, and we've got 3k damage. Like, so it can do really good things and fun things. Any tank, you know, it's not just the SU-152, but any tank that you're able to do 1,000 damage in tier 7, of course, is fun. Of course it's going to be fun. So even now, like, we've had it easy, to be fair. We had the easy first 3 shots, which was nice, where we got just over 1,000 damage for 2 of them, and then 900 for the third. Yeah, it still can be a fun tank to play. And I know people, they don't look at this tank, especially the newer players. You know, they may grind the line, and they're going to look at the guns, you know. They're not going to look at a tier 6 gun, for example, and not really understand the tank. They're going to look at the guns and they think, well, I'm not going to play a tier 6 gun when I can go and play a tier 8 gun that's got better penetration, that's got better DPM. Yes, it has less alpha, but the reload's better. So overall, I might as well play the tier 8 gun. But again, you'll be playing it wrong. You'll be playing it wrong. The SU-152 is in the name. It's all about the 152. You don't want to be playing it any other way. Yes, it probably can perform better, and I'm not saying it's not going to perform better, or I'm not saying it is going to perform better, but it's the only way to play the tank. Only the people that have been around a while will understand how good this tank was and how fun this tank was, even with a tier 6 gun. It's the only way to play it. It's the only way you should play it. And yeah, don't play this tank any other way except for this gun. Bring it back. Hashtag bring back the SU-152, because, you know, we want it. Maybe get rid of the Smasher. Why not? Let these tanks become something again. And that is the downfall with the Smasher. These tanks are now nothing. They mean nothing because you might as well just go play a Smasher. Hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. I'm meadsy69, and I will catch you all soon. Bye bye.